Hey everybody, welcome back to Nicsminibikes. If you haven't yet, hit that link in the description. Go pick you up some merchandise. We got hats, shirts, hoodies, all kinds of cool stuff. Go get you something. So today we're going to make a carburetor bracket for the top of the carburetor, and it'll go back to the head, and it'll make sure that carburetor don't fall off in the middle of the GPS 180 this year. And it seems like it's going to be pretty simple to make instead of buying one. But if you want to buy one, there'll be a link in the description to just go buy yourself one. But today we're going to make one. So come along for the ride, and let's get working on this. So I'm going to start off by taking the top of this PWK carburetor off. Just 2 screws, 3mm Allen wrench. We'll get these out. And that slide will come right out of that carburetor. And these little screws are going to be too short after we make what we're making. So I did make a trip to the hardware store and buy some new ones. They're here in this bag. We'll worry about that later. But for right now, we're just going to take some measurements here and figure out our bolt spacing. So I'm going to go inside to inside, 1.482. And then I need the diameter of one hole, 1.133. Then I'll add those together. 5, 8, 9, 10, 11, 4, 5, 6, 1, 6, 15 should be our spacing there. So I'll set this to 1 inch, 6, 15. And I should be center to center on these holes there. And we're perfect, so we're good there. 1 inch, 6, 15. Then I need a length. Let's get this spark plug boot out of the way. I'm going to go from this hole here where the ground strap's at to the top of this carburetor. So I just need a length there, and it don't have to be perfect. Go 4.5 inches. I'm going to add a 1/2 inch, so we'll just call it an even 5. And this hole here, we'll figure it out later. So I got me a piece of steel, and this is why I needed the longer bolts. We'll get there. But I'm going to pick an edge here. I'm going to lock my calipers in at about 5 inches. And I'm just going to mark this. Idea about how wide we want to be. Say 2 1/4. I scribed that, I swear I did. Oh, it's way back here. 2 1/4. Don't use your calipers as scribes. I'm going to mark this with a marker so it's easier to see. I'm losing daylight pretty quick here. So I'm just going to pop me some spots here. I'm going to find the center of those 2 holes, the 2 spots. We're not quite 2 1/4, and that's fine. We're 2.206. So 1.103 would be our center. And I'm just going to scratch from both points. That's why I did the 2 points. And they intersected right where I wanted them to. Get another spot there. Now I want half of that 1.615, which is going to be 0.807, 0.075 if you want to be technical. Now scratch it again from that center hole I made. Both directions. And that'll give me where my holes are going to be for, and the center hole will also get cut out and shaped and all that good stuff. I'm going to go ahead and mark this and get it cut out. Easier to work with a smaller piece, I think. Once again, we're not being too technical with it. But that's going to be the piece I want cut out of there. Just double check these two here.
What do we got?
607. So we're a 1/4 inch from the edge here, 1/4 inch here, and give or take some. I want the same distance here. I'm just going to use this to help me see. And then I want a 1/4 inch up this way too. And we'll just pop those. Then we'll just straight edge those, and that's how long that plate's got to be. Almost made a mistake there. That's how long that plate's got to be. So I think I'm going to start with a 1-inch hole saw in the middle, right here, and that'll put us pretty close to our dots there and there. Then I'll cut my rectangle out there. But it's getting late. Well, it's not really getting late. The time change happened. It's maybe 4:45 to 5, and it's dark outside already. But we got a good layout going. Let's go in the garage and get this center hole bored out. All right, so I don't have a good 1 inch, and I got a pretty wore out 7/8. I'm going to try to put this through. I don't have a way to clamp this down either, so hold on to your britches. Keep stalling out the drill press, so I'm going to switch over to a hand drill here. We were pretty dang close already, so right through. Now I'll switch back over to the drill press and get my 2 bolt holes drilled. I'm gonna go 3 of them. Get this one drilled. That should be my 2 cat bolts and where the throttle cable goes into the top of the carburetor. And I'm thinking I forgot to leave length on the backside to have the bolt back here. So I'm gonna just do some remeasuring here and figure out if I screwed that up. If I did, I can come this way. I got plenty of space, but I'm gonna have to figure that out. But I think that's as far as I'm gonna be able to go today, because the rest is gonna have to be outside. And It's dark out there, so you won't be able to see very well. So I think that's going to be it for today. We'll be back on it tomorrow and get this bracket all made up. All right, so I went ahead and checked my length, and it is good. So I redrew my lines, and I'm going to cut this out. I'm going to cut this top line here, and I'm going to cut the two outside lines here, this one here, and this one by my pinky there. So let me get this cut out, then I'll bring you right back. All right, so we got this piece made up. Now we need to figure out where this bolt hole is going to be. So to do that, we need to take this off. We just need this ground wire out of the way for now. And we'll just bend this ground wire out of the way. And I got this paint marker. Now I'm just going to load this nipple up with paint. I'm just going to eyeball up these top holes here. That didn't work very good. Let's see if we can get more paint. Just want to load that up. It's not working like I expected it to. I think I'm going to see about twisting this first. Let's just mark it so that we keep trying it the same way. I'm going to mark this T for top. And I want that twisted that way. So I'm just going to run this over to the vise. I'm going to clamp about this much of it in. I'm going to start heating it up, and I'm going to try to twist it. Let's see if I can twist it without heating it up first. So I'm just going to take 2 crescent wrenches here. Get them on here. Push on one, pull on the other. Oh yeah. Let me go check that. I'll be right back. So I think that angle is good, but now I need this bent down. So I added another bend. And that's actually really good. Let's get some screws in it. See what it looks like. So after our bends, we're not looking too good there. So I'm gonna have to re-drill this hole to move that over. So let me figure that out. So what I've done is I took a radius of one of these holes here and the distance between them, added those two together, and I got this arc right here. So somewhere along that arc, we're gonna land right where we want to be. And sadly, I think it's gonna be right on the edge of that hole. We'll make do. So I'm gonna take this back over and I'm gonna drill another hole right next to that one. All right, let's try again. That's not pretty, but it'll do the job. Cut my finger with the grinder. Wasn't very good. So I got this little spike that I made here, and it should just screw right into this hole. Just gonna eyeball it the best I can, lift it up, and I'm just gonna scratch it. I wish I could have got that in there, set this down, and then tapped it, but it's not gonna work. Got a scratch on there. I'm gonna load this up with paint. And we'll try that again too, but I don't think it's going to make a difference. This paint just isn't thick enough to transfer over. We'll just try to load it up. And that actually went pretty good. See the paint, you can see the part of the circle. So we'll just try to shoot in the middle of that circle there. We're just going to go pop a hole in that real quick. Got our hole popped in. Let's just see how bad we are at this. Pretty bad. Let's see. Let's just start a bolt. Should have a little play. As long as we can get all three started, we're happy. So we're a little far that way, so we'll just open that up with another hole next door. Kind of turn it into a slot, kind of. All right, so we added a slot there only because we can't measure or figure out how far that hole's supposed to be. So we added a slot so it looks like we meant to, and got a slot there because we meant to. Maybe we'll turn that into a slot so it looks like we meant to. Probably not. But I think we're ready to kind of bolt this up and see if it works. I think it will. So we'll start by putting our slide back in our carburetor here. Setting the cap on. Setting our piece on. And we'll just put in our screws here. Our back screw started. And that's pretty well what we're after. Get you a closer look. That's pretty well what we're after there. We have to shape it. You can't do the choke back here. So we'll just kind of start grinding on this, doing what we want with it. We'll come off over here probably, and we'll just open it up. Something like that there. Of course, we'll round this all off. Something like that. You want to keep some meat on there though. But we don't really need a lot. So we'll pull that off and we'll just start trimming it down. Then I'll bring you back once she's all trimmed up. So we got that all trimmed up. I would not say that it's pretty, but it'll do what we need it to. So let's get it bolted on there. And maybe someday we'll paint it. But for now, just want it on there. So for my bolts, I went ahead and I bought longer ones. A little bit longer to compensate for the plate. And on the carburetor, those holes are tapped all the way through. So that is very handy. So let's just get this in place. For these top bolts, I did buy some teeny tiny lock washers. So we'll use those too. Gonna grab our ground wire and bring it down. Just bolt that right into place there. Grab a 3mm Allen wrench. And tighten this one down. Our choke clears that bracket. That's why it's shaped the way it is. Get these nice and snug. They are M4 bolts, so use your discretion. Then we'll finish tightening up this back bolt here. And there we go. Got that all finished up. I'm pretty happy with that. It's not exactly pretty, but it don't have to be. So that's going to do it for this episode of Nicsminibikes. We got that carburetor bracket made and installed, and I wouldn't say it looks the greatest, but it's going to do its job. It's going to work. Hopefully keep that carburetor from falling off at the Go Power Sports 180. Not a fan of carburetors that use boots to hold them on, but show me a PWK that doesn't take a boot, and I'll buy it. But for now, that's going to do it for this episode of Nicsminibikes. Make sure you hit the link in the description. Go check out our merchandise. We got hats, hoodies, shirts, all kinds of cool stuff. Go get you something. And as always, make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe. It's free for you and it helps us out. We appreciate you watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.